Hey everyone, welcome back to Pine Hall Auto Diagnostics. Today we have a jacked up Jeep from Virginia. Customer says it's just running worse and worse. Over the last 2 years, it's been running not so well. As you can see under the hood, we have some coolant splatter everywhere. So, engine coolant only, right there. It smells like coolant. And what's the history of the vehicle? Well, just a little while ago, I went to another shop and they took care of the Pentastar Tick. Look at that camshaft lobe. Holy crap! It basically turned into a circle because these followers, the needle bearings fall apart. And this is the really bad one. You can see the camshaft was hitting the top of the case there and just completely shaved it down. So got a new camshaft, new rollers, lifters, whatever. That took care of the tick, but she says that it's overheating. This thing is overheating and she loses heat inside of the passenger compartment. Then it got worse. Said it started shaking a little bit on a cold start. Cylinder number 4 misfire. This certainly sounds like a blown head gasket. I mean, all of the symptoms: misfire on a cold start, losing coolant, pushing coolant out of the overflow, loss of heat inside of here. But so I told her, you probably need an engine, but you can bring it over for diagnosis. And she said, yes, I just want an answer. So that's what we're here to do. Just a diagnosis. I'm not swapping engines over or doing head gaskets or anything like that. Codes, there it is, 304 P0300. So what's the game plan to 100% confirm a bad head gasket on this thing? Well, let's go under the hood, check the coolant level. If it's low, we'll fill it up, build some pressure in the system, and we'll just let it sit. And I want to put a Borescope in cylinder number 4 and see if we see any coolant intrusion. We can compare it to a neighboring cylinder and just do a visual inspection. Should be a pretty straightforward diagnosis. I'm already suspecting it's going to be a blown head gasket, even though it's not common on Pentastars. This thing has 155,000 miles, but we don't know the history of it, so anything's possible. Oh, by the way, over the last 2 years, the customer said that she's replaced the thermostat 6 times, replaced the radiator, replaced the coolant sensor, replaced the relay for the radiator fan. Nothing helped. So obviously that wouldn't fix the blown head gasket. But, you know, people try the easy stuff first and, well, it usually doesn't work. Alright, let's check the coolant level. You heard that pop, and there's absolutely nothing in the radiator. So let's top it off, start it up, warm it up, see what happens. The coolant tank is at least halfway full, mostly full, so not worried about that. Let's see how much fluid we're losing in the radiator. I love this spill-free funnel. Let's see how much coolant this thing ate up. It's drinking. Wow. Really low coolant. Holy crap. Well, let's add some more. Drink at least a quart so far. Alright, it's full to the brim of coolant. Let's take it for a test drive. Monitor the coolant temp. see what happens to our heat inside. Make sure it has oil before we start. I have to add 1.5 quarts. Get this thing back on the dipstick. I don't know why people don't really check their basic fluids, and then wonder why their engines are having problems. But let's take it for a test drive. Alright, let's fire it up. Coolant temp, fan, relay, engine speed. I'm going to turn this thing to maximum heat. Let's go for a rip. Oh, the big beast is on the road. Seems to run okay. Well, it's a handful. We're at 170 degrees Fahrenheit. I've got warm air in my feet. So far, so good. Alright, so after 5 miles, everything looks great. 197 degrees on the coolant temp. Hot air blowing at the vents. That level has not changed. Our pressure is good. I don't see any blowouts yet. Let's keep going. Okay, so I'm just parked here. Just idling in park. It's starting to shake. What the heck? Check engine light's flashing. You guys see that? If I turn the lights off, there it is. Okay. Which cylinder was that? Fan is off, 206 degrees on the coolant temp. So I guess the radiator fan is controlled by pulse width modulated signal, but the fact that it's misfiring is not good. So let's see which cylinder that is. And for that we need to go OBD2 monitors including misfire. And we should have a data PID which cylinder is misfiring right here. Number 4. It's pretty pronounced. Failed this trip. Okay, let's go under the hood. Fan is okay. Fan is up to 20% now. Here's the cooling fan. Okay, cooling fan is blowing. See, that works, but it's shaking. And cylinder 4 is going to be this one right here. It's cold. Coolant is still full. Definitely pressurized. Interesting. It's definitely misfiring. Alright, let's see what happens if we just shut it off. Okay, seems to be smooth. Put it in drive. Is that misfire going to come back? It's super smooth right now. So it must have shut the injector off. Here we go. Smooth. Still smooth. let's see if the check engine light will pick that up. There we go. So once it starts flashing, I think it cuts the injector. Let me wait until it stops flashing. We still have, okay, and now see the shake? It cut the injector out. Okay, so engine off, engine on, back in business. Is that a compression misfire? Put it in drive. It certainly seems like it because it smooths right out as soon as you lift the RPMs up a little bit. There goes misfire. No, smooth. Shake, 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 shake. Smooth. Okay. We're at 215 on the coolant temp. Jeeps have the roughest ride out of any vehicle. It really makes you feel like you're going off-road even when you're on just some light gravel. Amazing. So we're at 217 Fahrenheit, 20% fan, no issues at all. Like, I don't see any issues. Alright, so we're up to 225 here, just sitting in the parking lot. And the fan finally kicked on. Let's see if the temperature drops. 226. Fan is ramping up. You can hear it. Let me switch the temperature to hot, make sure we still have heat. Yes, we have nice heat, so the water pump's working. There's no air bubble. You see the fan's ramping up, 30%. Is the temperature going to start to drop? Yes, it's starting to drop. Okay. Oh, we're getting a little shake again. So we're cooling right off. I thought the problem would be more obvious. So nothing crazy going on at all. Pressure is fine, no leaks. That level is steady. So we'll run it through a couple more of these heat cycles. Oh, there goes the cup holder. And just park it. When it cools down, we'll see if there's an air bubble in the radiator or what. So the Jeep's been sitting here cooling off for a few hours, and there's still some pressure in the radiator hose. That's not a good sign. Also, the level in the reservoir has not dropped at all. I put a little mark on there when I shut it off. That's also not a good sign. Let's open the radiator cap and see what comes out. Air. And Let's see if there's fluid in there. It definitely ate coolant. It ate some coolant. I don't know what this frothy stuff is on here. That's a bad sign. So it is looking like a blown head gasket. Slightly blown. Still drive around. That sucks. So let's finish up the diagnosis on this 2014 Jeep Wrangler. I'm ready to call a head gasket like I thought initially. The radiator is empty again. You can see the metal core in there. And it did suck in some fluid from the reservoir. You can see the two black marks overnight. So let's see how much it drank. So this Jeep is thirsty. It's not leaking coolant. It is consuming it. And then what I want to do is pop off the intake manifold, or just move it out of the way, get the number 4 coil out, and just look in there with a Borescope, compare it to like cylinder number 2, see if it's all clean, pressure washed, see if the plug has any deposits on it, just to be 110%. We'll call the owner and tell him, recommend a new replacement low mileage engine. Alright, so let's see how much coolant will fit into this radiator. So I'm just going to add that much. Oh, it's probably a quart. And just let it bubble out. I mean, if it's consuming coolant that fast, we only went like 10 miles. And it had that air pocket in there. It still had pressure after cooling down. Really, really not good. Okay, is it done bubbling? Okay, that was at least a few cups of coolant, plus however much it drew in. So, yeah, pretty substantial coolant consumption. Actually, one experiment I want to do right now is just have the spill-free funnel here and start it up and see if it starts bubbling. If it's pushing air or combustion gases into the coolant jacket, they should migrate up and come out here. So if it keeps bubbling while running, that's also a red flag for a head gasket failure. So interestingly enough, nothing's happening to the level of the coolant. There's no bubbles and the level is not changing. Usually when the cooling system heats up, you'll get an expansion of the liquid and the levels in here should start rising. Because right now there's no pressure in the system. But we're not going up or down. Squeeze the hose here. No bubbles. So we'll warm it up until the thermostat warms up, see what happens. Okay, we're getting warmer, warmer, warmer. Lukewarm, and then cooler again. Oh, do you see this? Look at that. Wow. So the thermostat, I guess, finally opened. That big air bubble came through and just sprayed everything. Should have caught that on camera. Okay, well that's enough evidence for me to at least look inside cylinder number 4, see what the heck is going on there. And we still have poor heat in here, so yeah, this engine's not doing too well. This is crazy. It just keeps like burping, blop blop blop. And if you hold your hand on the upper radiator hose, you feel bubbles kind of migrating up. Then the level will rise, 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 and then it'll burp itself and suck the coolant back down. So pretty crazy. What a blown head gasket looks like. See levels going up and down. Up and down. Nope, there's more bubbles. It's like a geyser. Wow. And then back down. Look at that cycle. You know, I'm not squeezing anything. It's just what the car's doing. Geyser, fill it up, then suck it back down. And after like 5 of those cycles, you'll start seeing bubbles. Because the bubbles are now able to escape through the thermostat, through the radiator, up into our funnel. Look how full the funnel got. That's because there's an air pocket building in the coolant jacket, and right now I'm feeling bubbles in the upper hose, and soon you should, oh, there they go. Look at that, blub 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 blub. Here comes some more. There you go. Another burp event. So it'll keep repeating over and over again. That's pretty neat. Alright, so I got the plastic plenum pulled up out of the way so we can get to the coils. Got the coils out for cylinders 2 and 4. Here are the spark plugs. Cylinder number 2, nice and clean. Cylinder number 4, dirty, crappy, deposits. So now, let's get our NTS 500 Borescope in the cylinder, see if we can see a difference. Alright, so here is cylinder number 2. This is known good. See, normal combustion chamber. There's a head gasket interface. There are some valves. We can turn the camera around, see more valves. They're all nice and clean. Let's go to cylinder number 4. Hopefully we'll find something interesting in here. So we'll use the front camera to make sure we're going straight into the hole. There we go. Okay, what do we see? Do we see anything interesting? Side view camera. Boom! Coolant droplets. Right there. There's a head gasket. Coolant droplets. That's all we need to see. Just to 150% confirm this head gasket's leaking. We could even pressurize the system to see if we can see the droplets, but look at that. Coolant contamination. Oh, look, there's a puddle of coolant already in there. Wow. Well, that's it. We're done. That's pretty amazing. Wow. So I pressurized the system just a bit with the air nozzle through the radiator cap. Look what we have. Massive coolant leak into the cylinder right through the head gasket interface. So you might say, Ivan, why don't you just slap a head gasket on there? With aluminum blocks, if they have been overheated in the past, the block itself could warp, the head could warp. This Jeep would be in the shop for a month, going to machine shops, and it's a high mile engine. Already has, you know, one new camshaft. It's just worn out. So I would say low mile used Pentastar is the best way to go. Swap it out nice and easy and go from there. So that's it. That's the end of the diagnosis. That's the end of the video. But pretty neat how many ways you can determine a bad head gasket. This is obviously the coolest way. Borescope, pressurize the system, see the coolant just pouring into that cylinder. You know, we're done. So we'll do a follow-up, see what the owner wants to do. I mean, she's going to pick up the Jeep and have the engine replaced somewhere in Virginia. But at least now she has a 100% guaranteed answer. And that's why she brought it here. So thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.